welcome to Tiffany Crosara's AstroTarotChannel for February 2013. Gosh, I can't believe that January is just gone by like that. It really feels as if time may well very much be speeding up after all. So February, I was thinking, had a feel to it that was maybe more settled, but since I've done the tarot this month, I am wondering where on earth I got that message from. So all fun and games, let's have a look and see what we have for this month. We start with the Three of Wands here, and this I think is really talking about Jupiter's direct motion in Gemini. Jupiter has been going retrograde for the last couple of months or more, last few months, and we should be feeling now with its direct motion in Gemini that the floodgates are opening, basically, like you've got in this card here. So you may start to see more opportunities. Your mind is likely to open a lot more, and you're likely to see a lot more as well. So it's a promise of opportunities and potential and new ways of being that feels actually really like a glittering sprinkling of gold dust. It feels quite magical and beautiful. So this is looking very, very good start to February. However, with that Gemini energy, we've got the sign here for Mars in Gemini, and Mars is actually in Pisces, but it feels like what this is trying to communicate is that with this direct motion of Jupiter in Gemini, we could just feel a little bit overwhelmed. It might just be a little bit too much too quickly, or a little bit too full on. So there's a sense of us seeing things that maybe we were keeping down at a certain level inside of ourselves, and now that safety net of keeping things down might have been removed, and it's for the highest good. There's a sense of us opening to a lot more with this new flavour in the air, but the initial parts of opening can always be a bit tricky or a little bit overwhelming. So we have that here also with the Three of Swords, which is isolation in the Osho Zen. So there may be things here about you seeing how your choices may well have caused you to stay stuck in certain things, and now you're opening. That feels really, really, really brilliant. However, you may just have to come to terms with some of the feelings that you'd stuffed down around past experiences, past choices, past ways of being. They seem to need to come up to be processed, which can be quite tricky in the first week of February as well, because there's a sense of there being a green light go ahead for everything on a business level, on a practical level. So you have things here that may well be coming up emotionally and coming up in your mind that might be a little bit too much on the emotional level. Also, some great, amazing realizations going on the emotional level and the business and the practical level. However, it does feel like everything's kind of going on all at once at the same time. So it feels as if you might benefit from really bringing in grounding practices in this first week and remembering that everything might feel a little bit overwhelming. So write things down and try and get things out of your head and on paper, because that will really help. There's a lot of great ideas. It just feels like it's a little bit overwhelming. So try and get those ideas down on paper and come back to them and see how you feel about them maybe the week after, when Mercury doesn't go retrograde, but you may well start to feel its build up to going retrograde on the 23rd, so I'll speak about that a little bit later. So we go into the second week of February, and it feels like we have processed a lot of our realizations that might have been a little bit painful but necessary in terms of opening. Oh look, here's Mystic. She's decided to join us this month. Anyway, so let's see what she's going to be up to. What we have for the second week in February is a lot of action, a heck of a lot of action. There's nothing else except action, action, action. We don't have any cups, we don't have any swords, we don't have any pentacles. So it's like no thinking, no feeling, no finishing, just doing. And it starts with the Queen of Wands here. So this is showing a belief. Look at that determination in her face. You know, all of those things that you realised, you can start to really action very quickly. It's like somebody's switched the light on. There's big aha kind of moments and a strength in people's will. So there's a determination coming through here, which is fantastic, because we have also the year of the snake starting on the 10th, which is in the second week, as well as the new moon in Aquarius. So there is a sense of new starts for acting for your freedom, for your creation, and also, you know, tangibly, tenaciously. Snakes are very, very determined creatures, and there's a sense here of you being able to achieve everything really well if you work well with the snake, which is a sense of being an individual, which is very much like Aquarius. So there's a heightened thing here about who are you, where are you going, what are you doing? And it's really kind of being hammered home quite strongly, particularly throughout February, but particularly in this second week. Snakes are very intuitive, and they think outside the box, and they look for the original ways forward, which again is also very Aquarian. So you're really being asked to be creative, think outside of the box, use your intuition, use your originality, and you know, have strength and courage in your conviction, and not just think about it, but actually action things. And this then shows what happens, which is the Five of Wands. And yeah, it's very much about how when we do action things, sometimes it means that we have to destroy the old ways of being, and of course then we get to that dismantled place in our life. And so there's things here about maybe the necessary chaos that comes in mixing things up so that you have something new at the end of it. Again, you're being shown that this is necessary and there's nothing to worry about. You've got the King of Wands here, you see, which is the Creator card in the Osho Zen. So you have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. My gosh. So that shows the creative potential in society at large and the creative potential in business in large, and how they're working together. So there's things here about society and business and the actions in both that seem to be going through some upheaval, but the upheaval is necessary, the upheaval is creative, and the upheaval is something that is transformative, and it feels very positive, and it feels like there's a lot of strength and a lot of energy going on, and it feels like, yeah, it's brilliant time for really setting out your intentions. And with it being the Chinese New Year, so maybe you can see it as a second chance on the New Year's resolutions. But don't be afraid to do what is necessary. That is a strong feeling that I have been getting around 2013 in general, and therefore for February as well. And that seems to be reflected very much in the cards. It's not just my feeling in that sense either. Okay, so when we get on to the third week, we have 23rd. Yeah, so we have Mercury going retrograde in the 3rd week. We also have Saturn going retrograde in Scorpio. So there's been quite deep processing going on with Saturn in Scorpio, because there's been the North Node as well, and it's felt very karmic. So it feels as if we're going back there really for another layer of processing, but that layer is something that we do in a way that's a little bit more detached than last time, because we've already gone there once and we've worked it up at some level. So it's like a reviewing of karma. It's also Mercury going retrograde, which is always a reviewing, but it's going retrograde in Pisces. So there's an even more spiritual twist to this Mercury retrograde, which lasts for 3 weeks, around 3 weeks, and starts on the 23rd, but builds up from the 8th. So what you have there is things about deja vu, weird and wonderful dreams, and the general feeling of things being even a little bit more wacky. Mercury retrograde, people often think about things like communications and travel being up in the air, so to speak. And yes, it can affect those things, but if we look at it deeper, Mercury's about messages, and going retrograde means messages from before, messages from the past. So there's things here about reviewing what has been going on, particularly towards the end of last year. There's also things here about, past life remembrances, dreams. As I said, we've got the Neptune energy here with Pisces, so we've got that very dreamy energy. So you could feel quite spiritually out there or overloaded with weird and wonderful, amazing things going on. So there is sense here of needing grounding. This February is coming up quite a lot, the need to ground, because it does feel like the energy could be quite crazy, but actually in a really positive, really good way. There's lots of realizations and lots of aha moments, and a feeling of going forward, even though we have these retrogrades. So if we look at the 3rd week in February, we start with the 6 of Swords. So again, 6 of Swords is about moving forward, but moving forward slowly. But I get a sense here of things from the past, and this light here being the past. There's a sense of the illumination from the past coming forward. We also have that clarified or reconfirmed, or confirmed even, with the 6 of Cups here. The 6 of Cups, it is about the past and is about revisiting the past. So the past is featuring very strongly in the 3rd week of February, and it may well be that we, past lovers, past friends, past places, past messages. Good time to do past life work. I may have already mentioned that. I do past life work, by the way. Just leave me a comment. And there's lots of things here about being able to process more from the past and actually get some aha moments going there as well. We've also got amazing creativity again. It's actually called creativity in the Osho Zen deck, but it's actually the Empress, and the Empress is Mother Earth. So, she is our base of creativity. Everything that we manifest comes from her. So what you have here is an ability not just to have realizations and process things, but actually put them into tangible use, really ground them, and really make changes in your life and really act on them and really go forward. So there's a great empowering feel, even though it might feel a little bit overwhelming at times. So we shall move over to the 4th week in... Why is October in my head? The 4th week in February, and we have a Virgo full moon, which is interesting because Virgo is ruled by Mercury as well, and can be incredibly over analytical, just going over and over and over things. So again, we have that energy of mental overload being highlighted, but also Virgo is very good for duty, service and health and getting grounded. So there is things here about, again, ground yourself, do what is necessary basically for your body, for your work, for your home. Just get on with it. Just do what is necessary all the way through this February. And as I've said, 2013, it feels as if we have to just cut the crap, get really real, and do what is ever necessary, what we're called to do. And that's it, really. It's about getting back to basics and seeing what our basic needs are, whether they're being met or not, and actually doing whatever we need to do to meet them. So yes, empowering, responsible, all of these words are kind of coming through with it. Anyway, so 4th week in February, we have the we have the cat skidding all over the cards. Yeah, we were playing Gift of Enlightenment last night. I don't know if anyone's played that. It's amazing. And she sat all over my chakras whilst my husband got enlightened. Better get the cat off blocking my chakras, and now she's blocking my tarot cards. Anyway, I know that I'll be able to still read. So the 4th week in... How many times have I said this? The 4th week in February, we have the Virgo full moon, which we've got here with the Hermit. Okay, the Hermit has that Saturn energy, but it is also Virgo, so it's quite interesting that that has come up in this time. And look how illuminating it is again. It's very much like the ferryman we saw in the card before, where I said the illuminations were coming in from the past. I don't know if you can see him. Hang on, wrong card. This card, there's a ferryman figure there. And it feels like he's really made his way now. He's got off the boat and he's there and he's showing you exactly where you need to shine your light, where you need to be. So there's things maybe here about locations and things also coming up for looking at. So after that we have the Ten of Swords. Interesting. The Ten of Swords brings in that Mercury energy and that Gemini energy of Jupiter as well. So what you have here again is the mental overload. Careful around the Virgo full moon not to criticize yourself too much, because there is that energy here, okay, of being quite critical of oneself and getting paranoid as well. If this is starting to happen to you, you need to go and do some exercise or some housework, or just immerse yourself in something else that's a bit more grounding for you, because there's too much energy going on in your head. Like I said, there's a lot of mental overload this month. What is really nice is we have this 2 of Cups energy here at the end of it. But I say really nice, there's also a necessary thing going on here. So there may be a feeling of, some relationships and some friendships may well be coming to an end, or a change. And there's a sense here of being strong enough to actually, again, face the truth again and say, this is what needs to be done. Bottom line is coming up here. But I really feel like it's a sense of, pruning the rose bush. It's like if we just prune it back, and then we can see the new flourishings that can come through from that. But if we don't, then we're not really looking after it. We're not generating the love. We're not allowing that relationship to blossom to its next level. We're not allowing the tree to blossom to that next level. So there's a lot here about facing the fear and doing what's necessary for creation and manifestation to happen for its very best. I feel like a bit of a stuck record this month, but it does seem to be hammered home that that is the message coming through for February. So the general for February, starts with the Tower. People don't like the Tower very much, really, which is a shame, because actually the Tower is the strike of enlightenment and is the beginning of freedom, and all those things that you've subconsciously been wishing for but repressing because you've been too afraid to go there, well, they're coming out now. And that's usually why people don't like it, but actually it's a blessing in disguise, because, you know, when we face things, then we can make things better. And so once again we have this message about things that have been repressed coming up for resolution and, you know, to be faced. There's also things here about the Six of Coins. The Six of Coins here, or the Six of Pentacles, seems to be saying, you know, watch out around, well, not watch out, I don't like to say fear-based things, but there's things here about, is everything you're being offered for real? There's things to check out, you know, there's so much being excavated this month. It might be better just to keep in contact with you, keep in contact with what you need to do, your own self-empowerment, and wait until the dust settles and then see who's still around, what's still around, and you know, make your decisions based on that. But there is a lot of changeable energy going on this February, so it feels important to kind of know that your own grounding is going to be really, really important. And if you're one of these people that doesn't give it enough attention, then it really, this month is your time to really work on your grounding, or you may well struggle quite a bit, feel pushed from pillar to post, and just be up one day and down the next, and all over the place. And you might be offered things, not the next. We also have the Mercury retrograde during this time, which says that, you know, confused communications are really to be expected. So again, on that level, there's a sense here of, you know, maybe give it a couple of weeks more or so. So, you know, middle of March, end of March, dust should have settled, things should be clearer, you should have more sense of who you are if you've worked on your grounding, and it'll be a lot easier to see what is real, because there's a lot of February's for revelations on yourself, and also finding out who people are around you. And so it feels like the action is there to change your life, but it's a sense of empowerment and independence, and you needing to do that for you, and waiting and seeing what happens with any offers from outside. Okay. Yeah, we have the Sorrow card as the ending card, but let's not end on a downer. You know, the Nine of Swords, as I've said, is just coming up as another thing saying there is a lot of mental energy around this month. Like I said, I feel like I'm just being a repetitive record. So, yeah, but I've got to hammer it home. It's being hammered home. Do your grounding. You know, lie on the floor, breathe deeply, send roots down into the ground, eat lots of root vegetables, slow down. You know, slowing down is something that I am hammering home to me as well. You know, I'm not very good at slowing down, and I'm having huge messages about the need to slow down. So there's a lot of fast mental energy, and there's a need for you to see that and go, yeah, okay, that's what's going on this month in the air. I'm just going to write it down, and yeah, I'm going to have a look and see what actions I need to do. And if I feel inspired to do things, I will do them, but also just do them with a grounded intention. Just do them in a slow, deliberate manner. Just help yourself keep on track, basically. And eat slowly, eat root veg, I think I've said that. And, you know, wear earthy clothes, be as earthed as you can possibly be. you know, even if that means just asking for the energy of Earth to come in to your aura whilst you're in some artificial city environment, you know. And I must emphasize again, because they're telling me slow down. With that, you'll be using the mental energy that is coming through and the revelations that is coming through, the ideas. You'll really be planting them in the soil, and there's just a danger that these seeds that are coming through in the air of revelation, they can just be caught up in this tornado and this hurricane, if not. And actually, you know, there's some really abundant gifts in the air this month, if we can bring them down, if we can plant them. And on that level, have an amazing February. It does sound exciting in some ways, and it sounds like we're going to look back at this month and go, wow, that was quite incredible, everything that went on. So enjoy the journey and do lots of grounding stuff, housework, exercise, cooking, all of those things. Okay, and I'll look forward to seeing you in March. Have a good month. Bye from me, and bye from Mystic, who's been pretty good this month. Oh, and I guess I should give myself a plug, because I always forget to do that. So just to let you know, I do readings and you can book them through my website. The link is below if you want a personal reading over Skype. I can also do past life regression over Skype, or face-to-face in London and Cornwall. And I've also got some retreats running in Cornwall as well, and some courses in London, so you can see them on the links I have below. And my book won. Yeah, my first book, The Transformational Truth of Tarot, won Best Spiritual Book for 2012 with the Prediction Magazine Awards. And the website below, Initiation Workshops, which have my courses, won Best Website of 2012, Spiritual Website. So yeah, please do have a look, and hopefully I'll get to actually see you in person, or at least through Skype one of these days. Take care, have a great month. Bye now.